You know how the story goes. Behind every great man, there's a great woman. Well, in this case, there are two women, the Trung sisters. That's right, I'm going to take you for a walk down Heibachung Street in Ho Chi Minh City. But before we learn about these badasses of Vietnamese history and the street they were named after, breakfast. Here at Pho Bin. Let's go inside. Okay, so there are a number of reasons why I've decided to start our walk here today at Pho Bin. Apart from having breakfast, which is a pretty good pho, by the way. This used to be a VC safe house back in the war, and on the second floor, just behind me there, that's where high-ranking officials used to meet and plot and strategize against the enemy undercover. They also used to stockpile weapons here as well, and in fact this particular place played a significant role in the 1968 Tet Offensive attack on the US Embassy. Back then this was a pho place as it is today, and allegedly the VC would come in here, order some pho. If they gave the right password, they would be led upstairs to meet the high-ranking officials. Unfortunately today though, I can't take you upstairs to show you. It's still in its original condition and there's a whole lot of photos around. The place is regarded as a national relic. It's just due to COVID-19 that they can't open it up at the moment. I've been up there a few times before. It's really worth checking out when you come here, and then the pho's really good as well. Okay, that's just what I needed. It was pretty fucking good. A little bit pricey though, a little bit more expensive than you'd usually pay around town. It's about 65,000 dom for a pho thai, and that's about $3 or $3.50 or something like that. Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's hit the street and I'll show you the other reason why we're starting this walk in this area. Let's do it. Okay, so the other reason why I wanted to start here was that apparently on this corner, which is the corner of Li Chin Tang and Heibachung Streets, is that right here there was an important gate as far back as the 1770s. And this was a main thoroughfare from Phu Nhong district, which is behind me, into Saigon. And allegedly there was quite a large wall or a rampart that went around the northern outskirts of the city that obviously protected the city from invaders from the north. And then there was the gate here to protect the thoroughfare going into, well, essentially, which was the Yadin Citadel. Now, apparently, even over the bridge, I'm not sure you can see the bridge behind me, but over the bridge there is Phu Nhong district, and back to 300 years ago, that's where the city's elite actually lived. And I believe there are some still Nguyen dynasty tombs over there. But, you know, they're not going anywhere, so they can wait for another time. Let's keep walking. Now, like pretty much all of the streets in Ho Chi Minh City these days, they've all had multiple names, and Heibachung Street is no different. It started out when the French arrived as street number 14, and then they thought they didn't like that, so they changed it to Imperial Street. Nothing like rubbing it in. Then around 10 years later, they decided to change it again from Imperial Street to something a little bit more PC, National Street. Maybe they wanted to do a little bit of nation building while they were at it. And then, you guessed it, they changed it another time, and they changed it to Paul Blanchie Street. Now, People who have lived in Saigon for quite some time will know this name. There's actually a bar named after it right up the end near the Saigon River. We might check it out later if it's open. Which leads us to today. After being named after a one-time French mayor of the city and pepper farmer with a bar named after him, the street was renamed Heibachung after the Trung sisters. Now, to cut a long story short, about 2,000 years in fact, the Trung sisters essentially tore the invading Chinese a new arsehole and sent them packing. And in the meantime, became national heroes. Wow, what is it about these Vietnamese women? History will show that the Trung sisters lost power soon after and the Chinese resumed it. But nevertheless, their legend was etched into history, and this street has remained named Heibachung for the past 55 years or so, and looks like it's going to remain that way for a long time yet. Now, let's go and find something to eat. Okay, so I found myself a bar of sorts inside Tandem Market. I've been able to find this place and escape from the heat. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning and it's roasting. And I've found Che Ba Mui, and she's telling me that she's been here for about 60 years. This stall has been here for about 60 years, so that's quite an effort. And she's giving me some che. And it's got coconut in it and some jellies, and I don't know, it's one of those and something else has come along here. It looks like a pudding. It's kind of warm. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll try it in a minute. And I asked for something cold just to chill a bit. And look, it's full. It's very coconutty. Oh yeah, okay, so this one is, she just said it's che da, so it's got ice in it. And this one here that she's handed me is che nong, which means warm. So I'll give that a go. And that looks like it's got plenty of beans in it. So it's an unusual kind of snack, but it's super popular in Vietnam. You'll find it at every market. It's also one of those things you'll find in the Philippines as well. So I'm very curious about the history of it because they're almost identical and they're really tasty. Give them a go. Đậu xanh. You guys must be thinking I'm some kind of religious nut or something. This is about the third church I've featured in 3 videos recently. I guess that goes to show how many churches there are in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm standing at the front here of Tandem Church, and it's probably the most Instagram church of all time, and it's obviously nicknamed the Pink Church. And it's, I believe, the second oldest church in Ho Chi Minh City after Notre Dame Basilica, which is over in that direction there. It was built about 1870 and it's withstood a whole lot since then. So it's actually quite beautiful, and at night it lights up beautifully as well. And just in case you're wondering, it is pink inside too. recent video, I walked a section of the old Saigon Railway, and this intersection here that I've just walked through, that used to be a tram stop, and the tram used to go around the corner and head out to Dachau. Another thing that surprised me about Heibachung Street when I was researching it was that the section down towards the river wasn't the first part of the street created. It was actually the section that we've just walked already. Why? Because right here I would have been standing on the northern wall of the Yarden Citadel that was 5 meters tall, and the Citadel ran around about 1,200 meters in that direction down current day Heibachung Street towards the river. It kind of makes sense now because the rampart that I talked about near Pho Bin, it protected the northern end of the Citadel, and then presumably soldiers inside the Citadel at the southern end would have been able to see what was coming down the Saigon River. Okay, and here I am in what would have been the centre of the Citadel, and the King's Palace would have been here, and the Prince's Palace right next door, and probably the Queen's Palace behind them. Ironically, these days the French Embassy is plonked right here, and right next door is the US Embassy. I mentioned it earlier during breakfast that was the site of the first real sort of salvo of the Tet Offensive back in 1968, when some VC operatives blew their way through the walls and into the embassy grounds. Okay, we're moving a little bit closer to the river now. Let's get going. It's getting a bit cooler. I'm enjoying this a whole lot more. Let's do it. You know, it's really great to get off the motorbike for a change and actually walk the city streets, walk this city that I've lived in for nearly 12 years. And I've been down Heibachung Street thousands and thousands of times. It's just great, as I said, to get off the motorbike and see things from a different perspective and feel the city under your feet. There's a kind of connection, obviously, and it's almost like it's telling you something. And what it's telling me through my feet at the moment is that it's killing me. And right here at this intersection with Litu Street, you can get a real sense of how the street and the topography is just going south down towards the river. And I'm looking forward to the walk now, as I'm sure my buddy is behind me, because it's a downward slope from here, and I can't wait to get there and have a cool drink. So let's do it. And you can just about find everything on Heibachung Street, even the barber shop. Check that out. How cool is that? It's good to see that those guys are still around. Now let's just cross the street. I want to show you a great little place to eat. I don't have time to eat at the moment at this place, but I've been here before, and they've got a whole selection of stuff. All your regular sort of street food. But it's after lunch, they're just about done. And as you can see, they have some bún bò Huế. I think this one was, yesterday it was bò kho. So it's not a bad little spot there to grab something if you need something on your walk down here, which there's a good chance you will. And you just go in there, sit out the back there, and probably cost you about 40,000, a couple of dollars. Here I am. I've arrived at the corner of Heibachung Street and Tandem Street, and this was the southern wall of the Yarden Citadel, and the river's probably about another 200 or 300 meters away. I can see the Chan Hung Dao statue that was at the beginning of this video, so I'm getting pretty excited about that and getting closer to the water and closer to a cooler drink. So let's get into it. Here we go. Here's a pretty good place to sit, I reckon. Take a load off just for a minute. I don't know if you guys remember our old mate Wang Tai. He was in this video here, and back in the 1800s, he had a monopoly on opium in this city, and the French colonial government, they wanted in on it, so they ditched him and took it over themselves, and they built themselves a refinery right here. I'm sitting across the road from where it used to be, and the gate is still here, and a few little bits and pieces, I believe, of the old factory is there, but there's some beautiful ornate pieces in the gate above it there that are quite nice, and they're designed in the shape of opium poppies, so that's pretty cool. But that's about all that's left here. Inside there's a few nice little restaurants and a couple of bars that are worth checking out, so make sure you pop by here. It's opposite the Park Hyatt, so come and check it out. Sit on the seat here and take a rest. Okay, I can see the end now. Let's do it, come on, we're nearly there. Another interesting historical quirk about this area is this monument. I think a lot of people walk by it and don't realise it's here. It's here to remember the car bombing that happened back around, I think it was Christmas Eve in 1964. It was one of the first bomb attacks that happened in Saigon, and at this building, prior to being the Park Hyatt Hotel, it was the Brinks building, and it's where a lot of US officers stayed, and there was a bar on the ground floor, and I believe a couple of VC operatives came in, they had a car, they filled up the boot with 90 kilograms of explosives, and the rest is history. Okay, I think I can just see him, our man, Chan Hung Dao. That's where I'm aiming for, we're nearly there. I think I'm in one piece. I'm pretty excited about this, to be honest. Oh dear. And we'll get to the statue there. And then I want to show you something else. I've just got a little bit of something else to show you after that to wrap up this video. Well, I made it. Well, I knew I would, but I didn't know quite what state I'd be in when I got here. It's around about 3 kilometers, the walk from Pho Bin, where I started out, to here. I would need to check online again just to make sure, but I think it's around about 3 kilometers. It's a fairly easy walk. It's just that I did it in the heat of the day, which was pretty stupid, but I just wanted to miss the crowds. It's pretty easily doable, and about halfway along, of course, the topography slopes down a little bit, so it gets easier, but anyone can do it, especially if I can. And let me just take in this cool breeze for a moment. Ah, that's beautiful. This is what it's all about. Oh yeah. Now I'm not going to sit down because I mightn't get up again. There's one other place I want to take you to just to finish this thing off. Let's do it. Well, I made it. Here I am at Chill Deck in District 7 on the river. And what better way to finish a great little walk around the city with one of these. That's the way to do it. Actually, I cheated a little bit. Originally, I'd planned to get the water taxi over here, and a couple of days ago I went to the ferry terminal to check, and they said yes, it's fine. And then when I arrived today after our walk, they told me that the ferry service over to District 2 is closed for a couple of months while they do maintenance on their jetty. So I jumped on the motorbike and came across instead. But in the next few months, you'll be able to do the little walk that we did today and then finish it off with a short taxi ride across the river to District 2 and a short walk to here. And what a great little spot to sit back by the river with a cold beer and watch the sunset for the evening and just unwind after a pretty hot and sweaty day. I don't know, I feel like there's a bit of a trend happening with this channel. You know, this guy starts this YouTube channel and calls it Ticket to Ride, but most of the time he sets out on a journey and things are either not open or he doesn't have a ticket. But anyway, that kind of shit happens when you're in Vietnam and you're trying to do videos as well. So I guess I'm going to sit back here now and just chill on the deck Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share so other people can see my content as well. And if I can't get my ticket to ride, at least make sure you can get your ticket to ride.
Rise for tomorrow.